Hey, what's going on, guys? DK. Back at you with another video here to rating the 6-game NBA Summer League slate on Draftkings. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings, covering preseason NFL and covering NBA Summer League. Also making videos for PGA Daily Fantasy Sports and NBA Top Shot. If you're unable to watch my YouTube videos, I also upload Apple Podcasts. I'll have a link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you're interested in signing up for premium content, I offer a ton of different packages. The NBA package is Summer League. NFL package includes preseason. We had a really good first night of preseason. Esports includes Call of Duty and CSGO. And then Gold package is a combination of everything. I do want to thank Prize Picks for sponsoring this episode. So, Prize Picks. It has been really treating us really well the first couple days for Summer League. Making a ton of money, a ton of members' money. Love to see it. So, and I love that they're offering, Prize Picks is posting players. There's definitely an edge. Now there's a way bigger edge the first couple days. The board's getting a little bit tighter for sure. We'll go over this in a sec. But if you don't know how to play, so there's two different ways you can play. The first way is you take over/under on straight up fantasy points, or you can take over/under at straight up like points. Sometimes I'll rebounds and assists on here too. But I like it because you're not playing against anyone, you're just playing against the house. So if you guys want to try it out, you can sign up, use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You'll get a 100% match up to $100. Basically put $100 in using my code, you'll get a free $100. So talking about the plays I like, again, there's not a lot of standout. Now, one play I mentioned in the Discord a couple hours, or I guess an hour ago, was Aaron Naismith. I wanted the over on him, but that was at like 20. Now he's at 23.1. Now I still think I would lean the over there, and the reason is the minutes. He played almost 30 minutes. He had a bad shooting game the first game. So, but that's like pretty close, right? There's no, I would say there's no standout. There's no like smash over. Again, Sengun absolutely crushed that first game, but we might have Garuba back. We don't know that yet. Like Jameis Ramsey had a really good game one, maybe a lean to the under there, but there's no like standout plays for me, I will say. I guess Moutier, if he starts again, he played 22 minutes. You guys can tell, like, last video I was like, over on Jordan Nwora, over on Desmond Bain, lock it in. Those two basically hit at half. Again, we'll go over that in a sec, but yeah, it's a much tighter board here, so not a lot that really stands out to me. But don't be afraid to take unders. There's some guys, projected for 30-plus fantasy points. You can definitely take some unders. Again, don't be scared to do that. All right, and finally, I just want to thank you guys again for your continued support on the Summer League videos on Patreon. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you do enjoy this content, if you could, leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and you know when I go live. Closing in on 10,000 subscribers, guys. If you're not subscribed, again, would really appreciate it if you could. And let's try to aim for 100 likes on this video. All right, so before we talk about players and their prices for the 6-game slate, let's look back at how we did today. Early slate, main slate, prize picks, all that good stuff. So let's start off with the early slate. The early slate was amazing for us. The DK logos were all at the top of the early slates. Literally, I think it was like, 30 of the top 50 were all Patreon members. It was amazing. Now, I didn't post any of that to YouTube for the early slate, but I broke it down on Patreon. And, we had some guys that were really low owned that smashed, like Tillman and Desmond Bain were two guys I loved. They were in my early kind of core. Both were super low owned. Tillman 30%, Desmond Bain 20%. Tyrell Terrier's guy was all over. Like half the field faded him. Tyrese Maxey we had Paul Reed for value. So it went really like Herbert Jones, the play I liked. So yeah, loved to see that. Now taking a look at everything else, like 13 of the top 50. I think it was more. Just a lot of people didn't have or put like the DK logo, I guess. But yeah, early slate. Again, $20 and 157. I went over it, posted with everyone at the top there in the early slate. And yeah, a Patreon member has taken out every one of the $10 GPPs so far in the Summer League. Tommy, $300 plus $350 since joining. Let's go. Love to see that. People even cashed with Bassey. Now, Bassey was unfortunate. I did a little giveaway there because he was a healthy scratch kind of contract negotiations, and he was pretty popular. So people even cashed with him. That is great to see. Going over some of the main slate stuff. So made a specific post about this. I thought it was very important. I knew he'd be super low owned. Trey Jones, 9% owned. One of my favorite tournament plays. Again, made a whole post about that, how I thought he was sneaky. He was out of concussion protocols. He smashed. And then the two prize picks again I gave out yesterday's video, Bane over, Jordan Noir over. You guys can tell there's not a lot that I really like for this board. So don't feel like you have to play every night, right? You can kind of tell I have a lean on a few, but you can always don't be scared to take the night off prize picks. And then Tommy made $350 off 22. And then, all right, so let's take a look at, I'll show you guys my lineup. So let's go over the early slate first. Again, so I guess I could have just did this to begin with. But yeah, Bane, low owned, 26%. Tillman, 27%. Harold Terry, only 50%. We crush it. Congrats, Dan. He's a member, took down first and second place. 2,500 there right alone. This is a $10 entry, so congrats again. And then let's go over my main slate lineup. So main slate lineup was really solid and cashing all three early, main, and late slates. So going over my lineup, Devin Vassell, Trent Forrest, McDaniels, Lewis King, Nathan Knight, Gary Payton, Nawara, and Azumbuke. So value-wise, the Kings, we didn't get that starting lineup, unfortunately, until after lock. But Lewis King was luckily still in the starting lineup. Now, one guy I wasn't 100% sure if he was going to play was Metu. If I knew he was going to play, I probably would have played him. Metu won off. Again, Lewis King was 30% in the higher stake stuff, but really low in the lower stakes. I think only 15 to 20%. Trent Forrest was a value, or kind of play in the mid-range I really like because he's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. And spend-ups, you guys knew I liked McDaniels. Again, Vassell because the team is just awful, and it's basically just him and Trey Jones. Nathan Knight, half the field faded Nathan Knight. He was, he flashed a lot of upside again when he played for Atlanta during the regular season. And he was 4.9K, went for 36 fancy points. Again, Nawara, 75% owned, was only about 50% owned in the lower stake stuff. And then Azumbuke was subpar. Just needed a couple more there for a double-double. But all in all, again, really, really solid night for myself. Big wins all around for all Patreon members. So congrats, guys, and let's see if we can keep it rolling for this slate. All right. So let's start off with the first game here in Atlanta and Indiana. So on the Atlanta side, Jordan Bell is a good point-per guy, but only played 17 minutes, so no real interest there. Now, Jalen Johnson, the rookie, he played 25 minutes. He played really, really well. The thing I don't love, though, is only 25 minutes. Not great. 6.8K, I think he's a fair play in the mid-range. Might be a little bit over-owned. Guys like Skylar Mays, Sharif Cooper, I think are fair options. Probably would lean to Cooper, who's the guy that's going to handle the ball. He had 6 assists last game. Another rookie, he played 28 minutes. Again, 19 fantasy points last game. Nothing crazy, but I think he's a safer play because young guy, rookie, should play big minutes, and will handle the point guard. Now, there's a couple of value plays I want to talk about here. So, Kuhn Purcell started. He's 4K. They have him listed as questionable. I did Twitter search. I think that is incorrect. Again, we've seen this a lot now in the Summer League with guys, with the Q tag, with the out tag. Just think that is incorrect. He played 27 minutes for 13, 8, 1, 1, and 2. So, assuming he starts, I think Kuhn Purcell is a really solid value. Also, Admiral Schofield came off the bench, played 26 minutes. Now, didn't have the best shooting game, 0 of 3, but 7 boards, 4 assists. Those two, I think, are some decent value options for Atlanta. Let's move on to Indiana. So Indiana, they don't know the stats up here yet on DraftKings, but here I have it up. I think it's right here. All right, so minutes-wise, a little bit surprising. So Cassius Stanley and Amita Brima started. They only played 11 minutes. I'm not sure why. Now, Amita Brima is really, really cheap. If he starts again, you can have some interest, but only playing 11 minutes, not great. Now, two guys that did play well were O'Shea Brissett and Durate. So O'Shea Brissett, 22.7 boards, 3 assists. Durate went for 14, 3, and 2. Both are, not cheap. We have Brissett at 7.7, Durate at 6.4K, but I think both play big minutes again. I think both are safe with Brissett and Durate. Now, value, Jordan Bone is at 4.5K. I think he makes for a decent play. Again, let's take a look at his minutes. He played 22 minutes, started, 9 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal. Nothing crazy, but he's cheap. If he starts again, I think he is someone we can get to for some salary relief. And we moving on to Boston and Denver. So Boston ran a pretty tight rotation last game, and they played their main guys big minutes. Pritchard, Langford, Naismith, and Carson Edwards all played big minutes. Again, I want to reiterate, Carson Edwards is not out. This was, an edge we got in the early slate last time when Carson Edwards was 5% owned, and he absolutely smashed. Now with Carson Edwards, he's a good scorer. He didn't shoot the best, 6-17, but still went for 17 points, 8 boards, 6 assists. He's only 5.7K. I really like Carson Edwards, and I like that he's still got that out tags. It's just going to lower the ownership on him. Now, guys like Naismith, Langford, they also played big minutes. Again, Naismith didn't have the best shooting game, but I think he's a decent play in the mid-range. Langford at 7.9K. I think I would rather go all the way up to Pritchard if I was going to do it. Now, Pritchard, you're going to have to pay a premium for him at 9.1K, but he'll handle the ball a good amount and probably play about 30 minutes. Rookie Yam Mater looked decent when he was out there, but only played 17 minutes, so not enough for me to get behind him. As far as the bigs, Dedrick Lawson started, only played 4 minutes last game. August played a little bit. Sam Hosser, the rookie, played 20 minutes. He would probably be the big I would look to. He's also small forward eligible, which is a little bit nice, but really I'm looking to the main guys there for Boston. Now in Denver, we'll have to keep an eye on the news, where guys like Howard, Najee, Bone were all out last game, so we'll see if they're going to be available. If they're not, they're going to run a pretty tight rotation. Now, they technically had 10 guys, even though they said they were only going to have 8 active last game, but basically 8 played a majority of the minutes. So we'll start with Bull at 8.1K. Assuming all those guys are out again, I think he's one of the best spend-ups. He had a really bad first half, bounced back in a big way. They're going to run their offense through Bull. He played 29 minutes. I like him once again here. Now, Caleb Legato is a guy who was all over again. Patreon members probably got annoyed from me posting so many times that, I guess, on Sunday about Caleb Legato, leave room for Denver. 29 minutes, 42 fantasy points. He was like 30% on low stakes last game. Assuming, again, we have to keep an eye on Howard, Najee, and Bone, right? If these guys are in, then Caleb Legato minutes are going to go way down. I don't like him as much. If they're still all out, then I really like Legato. Hopefully we get the news. As you guys know, Summer League, news is hard to come by. Now, I've got asked a ton in YouTube comment section and Twitter, where do you find news? Twitter search, right? If you're looking for starting lineups, just Twitter search it. That is your best bet. And a lot of the times, we're not going to get news. Like the slate today, since all the games kind of got pushed back a little bit, lock times, we didn't get any starters before lock, really, except for, I think the early slate we did a few. But yeah, on the main slate, we got, no starting lineups before lock, which was a little bit stressful, I will say that. Now, going over some value plays here for Denver, definitely some guys that are intriguing. Devon Reed started, played 32 minutes. Now, with him, he is a little bit more reliant on scoring. But again, if everyone's out, he's going to play about 30 minutes. I think he's a good value. Chetham's a guy had a subpar game in 25 minutes, so he's kind of a do-it-all guy. Can block some shots, get some putbacks, kind of an energy guy. Like him again if they're shorthanded. And then Daniel Hamilton is played 20 minutes off the bench. I think he's also someone we can look to for some value. So Denver's a team I'm praying we get news on because that's going to change the whole slate, right? If we get news that all those guys are out again and they're going to have a tight rotation, then yeah, I want some interest in Denver. But if we get news that Howard, Najee, Bone are all in, then this team doesn't look as appealing, right? Chicago and San Antonio. So Chicago played today. They played a couple guys big minutes, Patrick Williams, Damon Dotson. Here we can go over the box score for the Chicago Bulls. So Dotson played 32 minutes. Patrick Williams played 35 minutes. Those are the two guys obviously feel the best about. Now, Patrick Williams at 8.9K. I think he's one of the safe spend-ups for that reason, for the minutes and the fact that he is going to be, kind of their go-to guy on offense. Also, Devin Dotson played big minutes. He's only 6.7K. He'll handle the ball decent amount. So those two guys I like here for Chicago. As far as the big rotation goes, a little bit frustrating. I played Samancic on the early slate. Now, he still got their limited time, but he only played 15 minutes. They ran like a three-headed monster. They're like Samancic, Sheetu, Spellman all got some run. So, The only guy off the bench who played big minutes was Eric Thompson. He is pretty reliant on the scoring, played 26 minutes. He's cheap. If you want to roll the dice at 4-2, go for it in GBPs. Again, though, didn't do much in the peripheral stats. I'm moving on to San Antonio. So, San Antonio is funny. In the Discord, I'm not gonna name names, but it's funny. We have a couple guys that will tilt early. They were tilting about Trey Jones and Devin Vassell in the first quarter. I'm like, hey, come on now. It's early. Just give it some time. They're like, oh, man, Devin Vassell not to play, Trey Jones not to play. and both ended up absolutely smashing. So, yeah, Devin Vassell at 7.8K, he is going to be, him and Trey Jones are just going to lead this offense. So, Vassell, again, let's go back to the box score. He played 29 minutes, 23 points, 4 boards, 1 assist, 2 steals. And then Trey Jones, 16 points, 8 assists, 3 boards. Those are the 2 main catalysts in this offense. Vassell's at 7.8, Trey Jones at 5.3. Prefer the price on Jones, but like both for the Spurs. And then I'll mention Scala BCA. Didn't play big minutes. Came off the bench. Played 16 minutes. Had 6 boards, 4 assists, 1 point. Viable contrarian value play. And Renfro played a little bit. He played 22 minutes. Let's see, where is Renfro's price at again? So, yeah, Nate Renfro's at 4.1. He played 22 minutes. I think he is in play for value. I'm moving on to Detroit and Houston. So, once again, the issue I have with this Detroit team is they are pretty loaded, right? Sadiq Bey, Cade Cunningham, Killian Hayes, Sekou, Saban Lee. They have a lot of talent on the Summer League roster. Isaiah Stewart and Isaiah Livers, I believe, are still out. So we'll start with Sadiq Bey at the top at 9K. He played 31 minutes, was really good, 14 points, 12 boards. Him and Cade Cunningham going to kind of run the offense. Cade Cunningham's at 8.8K. Had a bad shooting game, only 5 of 17. Still in for 29 fantasy points. Now, he's the guy that can stuff the stat sheet. If you played him, got a little bit bailed out there, had 2 blocks, 2 steals. Again, you're going to have to pay a premium for these guys, so it's a little bit hard for me to prioritize either of them. Like, Killian Hayes is just fine in the mid-range. He'll handle the ball, play probably about 25 minutes. Sekou can block some shots, but don't love the price on him. Saban Lee came off the bench, played 25 minutes. I think he's in play. There's no one I love for the Pistons. Like, Luka Garza played well when he was out there, but only played 13 minutes. That's a little bit disappointing. I guess the one guy that I kind of like here is Tyler Cook. And he did not play the best, but he started at the 5. He played 23 minutes, went for 11 points, 5 boards, 2 blocks. If he starts again, I think he is probably my favorite play in the Pistons. I'm moving on to Houston. So Houston's the team we'll also have to monitor the news for. Now, the positive here with Houston is they ran an 8-man rotation last game. Now, Garuba did not play last game. Was kind of a surprise. We got the news right before lock. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. If he does play, I would guess Sengun loses some minutes, but we'll have to start with him. Sengun, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, played 27 minutes and absolutely smashed 15, 15, 3, 4, and 1. Now, he's going to be the chalk of the chalk. Could he have a letdown game? I think it's possible, but I think he is one of the better value plays for sure, assuming he starts again. Now, the issue would be if Garuba plays, maybe he loses a couple minutes, but yeah, gotta like Sengun. He's going to be really, really popular on the slate, though. That is the only downside. Well, KJ Martin, Jalen Green, both played some decent minutes. KJ Martin, 30 minutes, was only at 3 rebounds. A little bit of an outlier there. He's usually a better rebounder. And then Jalen Green got a ton of shot attempts, up 18 shot attempts, and a little more reliant on the scoring. I think both are fair spend-ups for sure. Neither are a must-play for me. A couple guys that do kind of stand on the bottom end here for cheaper options. Kyrie Thomas at 5'3". Started, played 30 minutes, had a bad shooting game, 2 of 10, still for 21 fantasy points. We've seen a couple big games from him in the regular season to end the year. He's a guy that can stuff the stat sheet. I do kind of like Kyrie Thomas. Also, it's nice he's shooting guard eligible. Then another guy is Josh Christopher, their rookie. I'm not sure why he's listed this cheap. He played 28 minutes, which is really, really good. Went for 13, 5, and 4. So, and I like what I saw out of Josh Christopher. So, Christopher and Kyrie Thomas I like for value. Sengun's going to be super, super popular. And then you have some spend-ups in KJ Martin and Jalen Green that are viable. I'm moving on to Sacramento, Washington. So, I wanted the Sacramento news. That's what I was waiting for, the starting lineup. So, unfortunately, we didn't get it. But luckily, Lewis King was still in the starting lineup for me. Rookie Keta started. Chesman Metu, we weren't sure if he was going to play. He started, played really, really well. Ramsey had a really good shooting game, and then Mitchell's kind of been handling the ball, went for 10 points, 9 assists. And then Terry was a guy that started the first couple of games. He came out the bench this one, still played 18 minutes, was solid in that time, 6 points, 6 boards, 1 steal, 1 block. So looking at the price points here, Mitchell at the top at 8.2K, I think is fine, but probably not one of my favorite spend-ups. Metu's a guy at 6'2". I like this price a lot, assuming he starts again. I think we had about 30 minutes. He's a guy that can just do it all, can get those block steals, putbacks. I think that is too cheap. Again, Ramsey had a really, really good shooting game last game. I think a little bit of an outlier performance, but he still should get big minutes. I think he's a decent play, kind of in the mid-range. And then a couple other guys I want to mention here. So Terry ended up coming off the bench. Still played well in that time, though. I have a little bit of interest in him. And then Lewis King started, played about 30 minutes, played really, really well. Did have like 4 steals, a little bit of an outlier performance, but I think he makes for one of the better value plays for sure. All right, guys, we're winding down here. Washington. So Washington's one team we haven't seen yet so far in the Summer League. Now, one thing I want to go over here is so the reason the game got postponed was Cassius Winston, Sandin, and Isaiah Todd all were in protocol. So we're not sure if they're going to be available for this game. Again, they had to postpone that one, so we'll see. So looking at the roster here, we have Kispert, the rookie, at 7.2K. Again, he was a good scorer for Gonzaga. I think more of a contrarian spender for me. One guy that I'm kind of intrigued about for his price point is, we can go down here. Where's it in this article? Kyrie Walker. So he was a 5-star, but ended up decommitting from Arizona State. He wasn't drafted. He was a high flyer, though, and he's cheap. So go ahead and look at his price. He's only 4.5K, so we'll have to monitor the starting lineup. If he does start, I think he's someone we could look to for some value. And then it kind of depends on who's available, right? Who starts the 5 here? Maybe it's Marcus Bolden. Maybe it's Juwan Hernandez. I think whoever starts the 5 makes for a decent value play. So Washington, there's some unknown, and hopefully we'll get some news on who's available and who ends up starting before lock. That would be nice. All right, last game here, Clippers and Blazers. So Clippers, we just saw them play. Let's see, I have the box score up right here. So Daniel Tura had a really nice game, started, played 29 minutes for 12 points, 10 boards, 4 blocks. Jay Scrubb was their go-to guy in offense, 24-10. The rookie struggled a little bit. Coffee struggled a bit. Boston played some decent minutes off the bench. Really, the two guys I want to focus on here are definitely Oturo and Scrubb. I think that they make for really good plays. Again, Oturo, good rebounder, good shot blocker. I assume he starts getting plays close to 30 minutes. I like Oturo again. And then Jay Scrubb, I think, is going to be very popular for the massive game last game. However, he is still going to be one of their top options in offense. Is shooting guard eligible, and it's only 5.5K. So those two, I think, make for some pretty solid plays. Again, the rookies were a little bit disappointing. Boston, Keon Johnson. If you want to go to one of those guys for GPPs, not going to talk you off them, but probably not going to be the way that I go. And finishing up with Portland. So Portland kind of spread out the minutes last game. Again, we had veterans like Moutier, Fareed, and Michael Beasley all start. None of them played big minutes. Moutier played 22 minutes, was decent in the timer for 20 fantasy points. Again, Michael Beasley started, played 22 minutes. They have Melissa is out. That is not correct. I want to reiterate that. He didn't shoot the best, 3 of 11. Still, though, went for 28 fantasy points. And kind of Fareed, the manimal, again, started, played 23 minutes, went for 25 fantasy points. So, like, those 3 guys are going to be productive when they're out there. Moutier, Beasley, Fareed. My issue here is the minutes, right? None of them saw more than 25 minutes, which is a little bit worrisome. Now, can they still get it done limited time? Sure, right? If I had to pick one of these guys, maybe a lean to Fareed since he's the cheapest. But yeah, Michael Beasley can still get you 40 fantasy points in like 22 minutes. Again, great score in the offensive end. Now, Blakeney was a guy that was in the Summer League a couple years ago. He came off the bench and lit it up, shot 9 of 10. Kind of feels like an outlier performance, even though he is a good shooter. I don't know if I'm going to chase that. George King played really well. He started at 4.5K, played 24 minutes. Again, did shoot really well, but I think he's a decent value play assuming he starts again. And yeah, I think that is going to do it for Portland. I think that's going to do it for the video as well, guys. So if you haven't enjoyed the content so far, I would really appreciate if you hit the like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and you don't live. And unfortunately, guys, no general Q&A live streams for YouTube, but I will be always, I'm doing a Patreon live stream 45 minutes before lock in every single main slate, talking about going over all the news, answer any questions, looking at people's lineups, all that good stuff. So that's going to do it, guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you all in the next video.